Am I on here? Are you able to see me here? Just checking here. Let me just check things. Always a little more difficult. Can you see me at all? Coming on now. There we go. Little delayed there. Good evening, everybody. Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy. Appreciate you all joining us. By the way, if you're watching this afterwards, please do leave a comment down the link below. Also, give us a thumbs up if you're liking the content. Tonight, I've got some customers of mine that are very experienced in camping. They've been doing it now for over 3 years. And I thought it'd be a great time, again, trying to keep it educational, to bring them on here to kind of give some feedback from their perspective. So without any ado, let me add Bill and Vic here. Can you hear me, Bill and Vic?
We can.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Awesome. Good evening. So listen, we only have like 1,000 people watching right now, so don't get too nervous. So anyway, so everybody, this is Bill and Vic. They have a 2018 Imagine by Grand Design. It's a 2670, right?
Correct. MK.
So, yep, MK. So anyway, so the reason why I was bringing Bill and Vic on here this evening, can you see me, Vic and Bill?
Yes.
We can.
Okay, so cool. This thing's working then. Is I thought this would be a great opportunity for those, and again, this is probably geared more to maybe newer people, but I'll tell you what, even people that are experienced, I think some of the things they're going to tell you here this evening will help you maybe when you're camping or maybe in the event that you're looking to get your first camper or maybe upgrade a camper. So anyway, without further ado, let me just ask you all, Bill and Vic, what was the deciding factor to get you guys to go camping?
Well, I guess, back in our early days when our kids were young, we were into camping. We had an older model Sunline 23-foot. Having a couple of bigger dogs and kids and everything, it was kind of like tight quarters. And then we kind of got out of camping after our kids grown up and went out on their own. So now we have empty nest. So we decided to get back into camping. My Vicky, there was a couple of concerns she had. We take our dogs to the kennel all the time when we travel. So we looked at it and said, what makes sense to find a way to take our dogs along? So we just came up with, let's get back into camping. So now we travel with our dogs, and it's a lot of fun.
But Vicki, there was another deciding factor of why you didn't want to do the other thing. What was that, Vic?
There was, Paul. I was kind of on the fence in regards to getting back into camping, but I definitely, the dogs are part of the family. I wanted to take them along. But one of the other things that bothered me about traveling was bed bugs are so prevalent now that it really scared me to go to different places. So it's really nice to have your own stuff. You're sleeping in your own bed. You have your dogs with you, and it just makes for a nicer time away. You're not worried about those things.
Yes.
So when you guys were ready, when you decided that you wanted to go and look at campers, did you already have in mind what type of floor plan you guys wanted?
Oh, no. We were kind of, it was a real eye-opener because in today's world, technology has really changed in the old style campers to the new stuff today. And in fact, I guess just to keep it simple, we just started looking at different dealers, and we were down by Beckley's doing a ride by, heading down in Maryland. And I said to Vicki, let's stop in here. Let's just stop in here and just walk around. And we were just like at awe of all the models and all the inventory, the inventory that you guys carry.
It was really our first place that we went, and it was also our last place that we went.
Yes. And we were fortunate enough that when we pulled in to the front there, Mr. Chamberlain was standing there, and walked over, introduced himself, very polite, very
Yeah. But whoa. You're missing something here. You're just glazing over something. Some important.
professional. How's
Yeah,
that?
No. You all thought in your minds. What was it? What was the first thought in your mind when you saw me?
No, that's going to be between you and I.
Oh, come on now. No, listen,
All right.
folks. Go ahead and tell them.
Vicky didn't want me to bring it up, but since you're insisting, when we pulled in, we seen this gentleman standing there with these psychedelic shorts on and this neon color shirt. And I looked at Vic and I said, "Look at this clown." And I said, "Oh my God." So we pulled in, and sure enough, this guy that had these psychedelic shorts and the neon colored shirt walked over to Vic and I and introduced himself as Paul Chamberlain. And after about 15 minutes of conversation with this guy, I kind of said to Vic, on the side, I said, I take back what I said about him. This guy's a real deal. He's a real deal because, when you deal with salesmen, probably about 5 minutes into a conversation, you can tell who's true blue and who isn't. So my take on you, Paul, is you're an excellent guy, good sales guy. You're very diverse in the RVs. Um, you're always there. I mean,
oh my gosh.
yeah,
Are you kidding? Um, you do all your YouTubes, and Bill still reaches out to you, and you always patiently answer the question.
yes,
And you don't get that somewhere. And the
No.
first night that we went out camping, we hadn't camped for a long time. This has a lot of bells and whistles that our old camper didn't. And even though it's like riding a horse, it's still kind of a little scary.
yes,
You came out that night. You came out that night and went
Yes.
over things with us and made sure that we were hooked up and so forth. And I really can't thank you enough for that, because it really eased our mind and made us a lot more comfortable with camping and what we're doing.
yes,
And
So now, when you came in to get a camper, and the things you were telling me you wanted, right?
right?
yes,
We had the perfect camper, and you have it sitting right behind you, right?
Yes,
that's correct.
But you guys had a budget, right?
we did.
We did.
And
I let him.
Yeah, go
finish.
ahead, Paul.
but I found something that fit your budget, right? But then we couldn't modify it properly, could we?
Right.
No,
Right.
But you
But-
came back because you went somewhere else. And what were the things that kept bringing you back to the Grand Design?
Your voice in my head.
yeah, yeah. I
I-
mean, you could tell when we went to the other dealers. You could tell they were sales guys just to sell the unit. Okay. And I picked up on that right away. They weren't as knowledgeable as they could have been. And it all fell back to you on the time that you spent with us and everything that you knew about the units that you showed us was just incredible. And like Vicky said, it just we come home and talk about it. It just made us, we need to go back to this Paul Chamberlain guy.
Yeah, I mean, you totally educated us, and it was a godsend that we stopped there first, because otherwise we really wouldn't have looked at some of the things that we looked at.
Yeah.
We have, we know different people, and everybody does. You talk in the campground.
Yeah.
A lot of people will buy a camper and then they trade it in, and it takes them a little while to find that right camper. And we were fortunate enough through you to find what really worked for us.
Yes.
And it
Yeah.
is behind us, and
Yeah.
we love it.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that you pointed out that we wouldn't have necessarily thought about. Silly things, or well, not so silly, where the foot, or the, what do you call it, like
Vince,
grades.
he ducks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
are in the
the
wall
ducks.
instead of in the floor. I got 3 dogs. That makes a big difference. I don't have dirt and crumbs and
Right.
wet grass or any of that stuff falling down in there, and just everything that you taught us and
Right.
continue to teach us.
I mean, on the slide outs, I was just amazed that when we started looking at them, how when you put both sides of the slide outs out, and go in there and how spacious it is. It's incredible. And I think that's what glued us to this one here, because some of the other models that we looked at, they didn't have this. I mean, to us, what's big for Vickie is counter space. And most women, that's what they want, is counter space. So if you're looking for a good unit, in my opinion, this is it. This got the
Right.
counter space.
And Paul listened to that, and
Yeah.
he knew that that's what I wanted. Now this actual model has a desk in the back, which I have no use for a desk, but it gave me the extra counter space, and it also gave me a little nook at the bottom that I can put the dog bed in there. So we're not kicking into the dog bed; it's out of the way. So there were just a lot of things that went into the decision, but we had somebody that listened to what we wanted and also helped us find what we wanted.
Exactly.
So when you go camping with your 3 dogs, how do you find it when you're at the campgrounds? How is it for the dogs?
It's good. I mean, truthfully, a lot of times they want to stay in the camper because of the air conditioning.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's plenty of room for them. I can bring them out. I can put them back in. They're very content in there.
Yes.
We're not tripping over them or anything in that respect. There's plenty of room. It's like a little house.
Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody looking to buy their first camper or maybe to upgrade their camper? What are the things you like about your camper?
Well, I'll let her.
Or what would you change?
Okay, I'll let her start because as a woman, they always have the ideas that they think of right away more than a man does. So I'll let her hit on a few things, and then there's a couple things that I would probably have different. And the other thing too, you got to keep in mind when you're purchasing a RV. In my mind, it's not going to be a perfect world, because you're not going to find exactly what you want. That's got to have every little, piece that you're going to find.
It's compromising.
Yes.
But you want to find something that has the least compromises. The things that I don't necessarily care for with this camper, I would love to have a king size bed. We have a queen size. That's okay. If I could change that, in the floor plan, that I would have. But anyway, the other thing is when the slides in, we can't get to the refrigerator, but we have an outside kitchen with a little refrigerator. So my workaround with that, when we're traveling, I just make sandwiches, have a couple sodas and water in there, and then I don't have to worry about getting into the refrigerator in there.
Yes.
So what do you like about your camper, and what would you change other than that slide out?
Those are really the only 2 things. I mean, I truly love it because from time to time Bill will be like, "Oh, look at this motorhome," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't have those things that this one does." I mean,
I tell you some of the things that I hear when I talk to people at different campgrounds. You hear a lot of people comment on Grand Designs. They don't own a Grand Design, but they comment them on when they look at the floor plans. And I'm only going to speak on a travel trail. Is the storage in the front? Okay, they're at all when they see the storage in the front of that. Now I got to tell you, some campgrounds I go and I see guys that have their storage units open. They are not organized. Okay, they don't use tubs to put everything in.
Mm-hmm.
They just got everything thrown in there. I'm the opposite. I have tubs for my water system. I have a tub for all electrical for the
Mm-hmm.
power cord and the power surge. I think the biggest thing is people compliment on the storage in here.
I'm going to butt in on that one as well because this particular camper, I assume the manufacturer does it with all of them, has a magnet whenever you put your
Storage door up.
storage door up. Thank you.
Yes.
It's a magnet, and it's a heavy magnet, and it holds it. It's not a clip that's going to break or that you have to, try and get it set correctly. It's just real easy. You just flip it up, and it stays.
It's the little things like that we've noticed on other dealerships and other manufacturers, like Vic pointed out with the magnets. That's That's really huge because when you flip the door up, that magnet sucks it up right
Oh,
away,
yes.
and it stays open. Some of the other ones you have a latch, and some of them have like a plastic on them, and if that plastic breaks, your latch is broken. Okay.
Yep, then you got to use your head.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
and that's you know that would be
I think it's the quality overall.
yes.
The kitchen cabinets are very well made, and some of the campers that we went into, they were like particle board. They weren't very well constructed, and
Yeah.
you could just kind of see it right off the bat. And it's like, okay, what's that going to look like once you use it for a couple years?
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, we really have not had problems with ours.
No.
Um,
And you know, quality is a big thing because you know the job that I have, I'm deeply involved in our product and as far as quality. And when we looked at other models versus the grad design, like Vic said, the cabinets, the flooring, uh, the ceiling, the ductwork, and everything, air conditioners, that is all a big play. They didn't shortcut anything here.
Right.
They did
Well,
not
hey,
short.
well,
I couldn't find any major flaws that
right.
and something out to you and the dealership that we kind of glazed over a little bit. We did find one that we wanted. It didn't quite work out,
Yeah.
but it wasn't something that was forgotten about. Like, oh well, sorry, we can't help you. You and Beckley's went as far as you could to try
Yeah.
and make us happy, with trying to switch things around and then upgrading us to another camper. So to have that, especially this evening, because we have a small issue with an appliance at the house, and it's a $45 item, and the gentleman emailed me tonight and said, "Hey, the manufacturer won't stand behind it. Sorry about that."
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm thinking, wow, for $45, you're gonna just forget about it. But
Yeah.
you guys really went above and beyond, and that's something that you really don't find very often anymore.
Exactly.
Listen, I have somebody, hey, Vic and Bill, I have somebody asking, do you all have your YouTube channel up and going yet?
No, I mean,
I think you guys came up with a name. It was going to be, what was it? The mayor and what?
I don't think so.
The mayor, the first lady, and the three dogs.
yeah. No, I mean, you know, we're happy to share, our happiness in what we have. Okay. Um,
Where do you
we have
guys like going camp? Where do you guys like going camping the most?
Everywhere.
everywhere. I mean, go ahead. Ray.
Tennessee is our favorite place
Yeah,
to go.
Tennessee. We went
Um,
2 years in a row now and had a great time. And you meet. I'll tell you, when you go camping, they're unique people. You meet some awesome people, no matter from everywhere, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, even up here. If we do a lot of camping up in our area, I mean, we run into a lot of just good. It's something about the camping world that the people are very nice, very kind. And the thing, with everything that's going on in our world today, it's good to go on a camping trip and get away from all the negative stuff. Because when you're camping, it's all positive. Good
well,
people.
and it depends on what you want to do as far as camping. I mean, if you want to go boondocking just to get away from people,
Yeah.
you can go do that. If you've just had enough of life and you just want to get away, you can take your camper and go do that. But if you're starting,
Yes.
talk to other campers, learn things. We learn things every time we go camping. Different people will share something they did or something that they use, and we're like, oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So you learn a lot, and you can also teach people a lot. So it's a give and take.
Yeah. You learn so much from when you go to the camping ground. You hear stories about, some things that people experience. So it's always good to hear that kind of stuff because
Mhm.
you may be faced in the future with an issue with your RV, and then you'll remember and look back and look, I talked to this guy last year and this is what he did to, fix this problem or, whatever. But I would tell anybody if they're looking at buying an RV, uh, my number one thing is quality. Okay. It's the old saying, you get what you pay for. Okay. So if you can afford to spend a little bit more money to get that quality, do yourself a favor in the long run. You're just going to benefit from it, Pay a little bit more.
Well, I was kind of along those same lines. Get as much as your money can afford the first time around, because you're not going to lose money doing that. You're going to hold on to your camper longer. A very wise salesman told me that, and it's true. Also,
Why is that? Why is that, Vic?
Why are you smiling? Why are you smiling?
I'm just asking. What?
Why is that?
Because you guys didn't buy the first camper that you thought you were going to get, did you?
No, we didn't.
No.
We did not.
No.
But we actually ended up with a better camper, I think, in the long run. And I'm glad. It was a little bit more than what we had really wanted to spend, but in the long run, I'm glad that that's what we did out the gate, because we are content with it. We're not trading it in. So I would tell people, get the most that you can afford. Think about what you really want before you just go out and buy a camper. And then also make sure that you have the vehicle to tow it. Yeah. That's a biggie.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, I get on the Grand Design site, and I got to tell you, I'm one of those guys. Okay, when we bought this, and it was no fault of anybody's, the truck that I bought or the salesperson that sold me the camper. I just didn't feel comfortable, with the truck that I had pulling this. So I upgraded my truck, and it's a difference in night and day. So the thing, make sure you have, if you're going to get an RV, make sure you understand the payload and the dry weight of your unit, and
if you can afford to upgrade it, upgrade it, because what we had pulled it fine.
Yes.
But what we got pulls it much better.
Yes.
So they're all things to consider. And the third thing I would tell you is to, go find a salesman like yourself, Paul, that's going to take the time and educate you.
Yeah.
When we picked up the camper, it wasn't like you just handed us over to somebody. You walked us around.
Yep.
You taught us how to do different things, showed us different things. You followed up the first night we were out camping and so forth. And that is something that's really, really hard to find. Yeah. So those are the three things. Get the best vehicle you can, get the best camper you can, and get your best salesperson.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that's true.
So how much planning do you guys do for a camping trip?
Well, Vic and I, we're a good team. Okay. Yeah, we get underneath each other's skin every once in a while, but for 99% of the time, we're a good team. So she takes care of everything on the inside. I take care of everything on the outside. And it works out really well,
One of the things that I like to do is kind of prep some of my meals prior to.
Yes.
That way I don't feel like I'm a slave in the kitchen whenever we go camping. I want to enjoy camping just like him, just like everybody else. So if you can kind of pre-plan some of your meals, I think it makes everybody's life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And people will enjoy it more.
Right. That's
awesome.
True. Yeah, and Vic, she likes to cook. So if we go with, another couple with some friends or something, she always thinks about them as well. Take a little extra. And
that's camping.
It always works out that we all cook together and all eat together and
just have a good time.
Have a few adult beverages and it's all fun. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to get away from the outside reality and get in that circle in the camping world and just be around nothing but positive people. And you meet some great people from all over the United States, and it's really cool. It's really cool.
So there's a
This is something Vic and I see ourselves doing for a long time. You know?
Right. Well, so now somebody has a question. What do you tow your trailer with right now?
Well, we had a 2018 that I bought new. It was an F-150 EcoBoost. Okay, 3.5, nice truck. Okay, and I love the truck, but I just decided the last couple of trips we had, especially going down to Tennessee, I did some homework over the winter months and decided to upgrade my truck. Vicki wasn't too happy to hear that, but she said to me, I want you to spend your time and do your homework, and I want you to go outside the box. So I got away from Ford, and I'm still a Ford guy at heart, but I upgraded to a GMC 2500 HD diesel. And I got to tell you, it's a night and day.
So
Our
what's
first
the
couple trips with it, Vic said, is it even behind us? You know.
That's awesome. So now what's the weight of your trailer in length?
The weight of the trailer is 8,500 dry. The length, if you measure from the end of the bumper to the corner, is 33 feet. If you go to the hitch, add the hitch on, it's another 3 foot. So I think it comes out to like 36 foot.
Is that long? I thought it was a 35 footer or 34 footer. So it's really that long?
Oh, plus or minus a foot.
Right. Well, that's good though. So anyway, that's good you got. So so the dry weight on that camper is more closer to 7,000, isn't it? Isn't the gross like 8,500?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might be right about that. Yeah, it's close to 85.
But you don't load it that much. I mean, I don't know anybody putting that much stuff in it.
You know, you got to be smart about it. You know, like all Vicky's dishes and everything are inside. They're all lightweight. They're either plastic or styrofoam. I mean, gosh, you're going camping, so you know
That's exactly right.
Weights and stuff like that to help with the weight. So she does a very good job of keeping the weight and everything on the inside. And we only store a few things underneath the bed, like our outside chairs and a table, folding table. And then whatever I have in my storage in the front, and that's it. And then, you know, you're in the back of your truck, you know, you carry a tub of firewood and, you know, put your cooler back there. So
Sure.
I try to manage the weight.
A couple of things for women that I've recently done that kind of helps me. I had a small 3-drawer, it's a little plastic thing you buy at Walmart for like $10. And I had some craft supplies in it. And I was so frustrated with going up and down the steps all the time, you know, pulling out the toaster, bringing the paper plates down, bringing down the plastic utensils and napkins and so forth, paper towels. So I actually took that and I put my stuff that we use in that. So I can lay it on its side beside the bed when we're traveling so it doesn't move. And then whenever we get set up, it fits right underneath my table. So all those things are there and I can just go ahead and get in there and access them. Also, the refrigerator out here, I'll put our eggs, butter, jelly, any type of condiments, and it just helps with the flow of things that you're not up and down the steps constantly.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. So I know one of the RV dog was asking. This is a travel trailer that they're pulling, not a fifth wheel. So anyway, I was just answering that question for him.
Yeah, it's a travel.
So that's awesome. So how many trips do you take a year? How often do you go camping?
This year has kind of been like every 2 weeks we're out and
it's
out.
been a crazy. It's been crazy. I would tell you. I don't know. We like to try to go maybe once or twice a month, if not more. It just depends, you know, what's available. What we try to do too, and this would be good for your viewers, around, you know, get on a waiting list because you'd be surprised that they'll call you and say, "Hey, we have a spot open." So if we don't already, if we're not already committed to another campground because we couldn't get there to this one the first time, then we'll go. we'll go. We'll take them up on the offer, and then we'll go there. So, yeah, but I would tell you,
I think we camped more this year with the whole COVID virus thing.
yeah,
Everybody's looking for an escape to get
Yeah.
away from it. And camping is something that we can do, that we can still social distance, but enjoy ourselves. We're in our own atmosphere. We're not in somebody else's
yeah,
apartment, house, or hotel room. And so this year has been,
Yeah.
we've been doing a lot of camping and enjoying it. It takes your mind off of all that.
Looking at your camping trips that you've taken thus far, what's the worst thing that's ever happened?
Oh my
Well,
God!
we went camping this weekend, and it was kind of funny because we had several things that happened. We we had a truck that
Yeah,
ran over.
dummy me. And I would tell all your viewers to do this, because once you think you got everything down pat, you don't. There's something that you will forget.
Well, you always
And dummy me, what I did this time, I used the scissor chuck on the one side, and then on the other side I put the two plastic ones. Okay. Typically I used all four plastic, but this time I decided I wanted to use the scissor. Well, I forgot to take out the one chuck on the. I don't know why I grabbed the one. I don't know why I didn't grab the other. But when we went to leave, naturally, I smashed it by accident, and thank God it was plastic. But it's little stuff like that, and you got to walk around and just.
It wasn't just that though. I mean, typically he walks around like twice, at least twice, a lot of times three times, and I typically walk around once. I didn't do that. I was out of sync. But then we got home, and I had a pineapple that I hadn't secured, and it had fallen, and it was nice and ripe, so I had pineapple juice on the floor.
Yeah.
And then whenever we carried our stuff in, I had a wine bottle that I had wrapped up in clothes that we broke with all the bumps on the road. So I said, this has been a real exciting trip.
Yeah.
The camper smells like pineapple, and the house smells like wine, so I don't have to burn any candles for a while.
So hold on. So you're telling me that just because you went camping with me this weekend, you had all the bad things happen?
We had a lot of great things happen. We
No.
made a lot of great memories.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had those three things happen. But
Yeah.
when you look at that, you got to kind of laugh, and it's like,
Yeah.
if that's the worst thing that ever happens to you camping, are you kidding?
It's kind of fun. It's funny. I mean, it happens. And the main thing is safety. When these little things happen like that, as long as nobody got hurt, that's fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
hey, so
It doesn't hurt your
Bill, what happened after you ran over that chalk? I come over to you to talk to you, and what'd you do?
Vic said to me, she said, "Didn't you hear that?" And I said, "Well, no, I didn't, because we already had our dogs loaded up in the truck, and I had the air conditioning going, and the windows were up, so I couldn't hear anything on the outside. And then all of a sudden, I see you walking up with my chalk in your hand, and I said, 'Oh, okay, all right.'"
And then what happened?
Huh?
Then what happened? You went to get out of your truck, and where was it? You had your truck in reverse when you were trying to get out?
Make him admit it. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah. Well, I had to back up to get the boards out to level it out.
Right, he was.
Yeah, I mean, but it happens. You know what I mean? And that's why you got to work together as a team. Unfortunately, she didn't catch it either, but it's okay. I'll know better next time.
That's right.
You learn from your mistakes.
No doubt. Now somebody was asking about pop-up campers. Are they practical? And yes, they are. I mean, I've known people that actually lived out of a pop-up camper for 3 years. To each their own. Everybody has different. That's why there's so many different RVs that are out there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's something for everybody. Vans. They're pretty nice when they're set up. We see those. What do you call them, Paul? The eyedroppers. We see them.
The teardrops. Yep.
Fifth wheels, motorhomes. You see a little bit of everything, and you're
Yep.
fascinated. You get fascinated by all the different types of units that are out there. It's incredible.
Everybody's needs are a little bit different,
Yeah,
so it's just a matter of finding what fits your purse and what fits your personality.
Right.
So, whatever it is that your needs are, find that and then go enjoy it.
Yeah.
No doubt. Well, listen, that's awesome. So you guys are enjoying it, obviously. You haven't had an upgrade in 3 years. I mean, I know you talk about friends of yours that you've been out camping with, and they're on their third or fourth camper in 3 or 4 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you spend a little bit more up front, but then it saved you money in the long run, right?
Yeah. And I think we got the right floor plan, and we did it for us. We want our family to come with us, but there's so many options that are out there now. They have pods and yurts and tiny houses and glamping tents and everything else. So when you go out to look at campers, don't necessarily buy something because, oh, well, what if we take the kids with us or something to that extent? Because there's always another option. If it doesn't happen all the time, don't spend the money on, don't do without something that you want, because you might have somebody go with you once or twice a year.
There you go. Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, I appreciate you all taking some time out of your evening to come in and talk with everybody here. I mean, we're up to about 1,700 people watching here this evening. So you guys are famous now.
Oh, geez.
So you can always go watch it tomorrow. You can go watch it on replay. It'll take a little bit to load, and you can go watch it on replay and see how well you guys did. I think you started your movie career off great, and people are looking forward to an encore.
Paul, thanks for everything that you do.
Yeah,
seriously.
I'll tell you, you're a top-notch guy. I mean, it's always good to know that if I pick up the phone and call you, no, in my opinion, there's not a stupid question. Okay, there's always, if you're not sure about something, go right to your sales guy. And let me,
or the YouTubes.
Yeah, or the YouTubes. Paul does an excellent job with his YouTubes. I mean, there's nobody out there, in my opinion, that does a better job than what he does.
Well, it's 7 days a week. I remember whenever we were looking, it was a Sunday. The dealership was closed, and Paul said, "Oh, I'll be there video, and come on down.
Yeah.
Just meet me at the gate."
Yeah.
So do yourself a favor and go out and find someone like him if you're not real local. But my understanding is you're pretty famous and have people travel from many different states. So
it's very important that you get connected with a sales guy that's going to be in your corner. And that's what Paul Chamberlain brings to the table. He is in your corner. I remember him making a comment to me early on that I'm available 7 days a week. You can call me anytime. If you're at the campground, call me. I'll walk you through the problem. And we've done that. And we've done that a couple of times early on with this RV. And Paul was more than happy to walk us through it.
Well, I believe his words were, "You're the one that's frustrated, not me."
Yes.
So, don't be frustrated. I'll help you.
Yes.
Right. And I do preface that by telling you, though, if you do call me on a Friday or Saturday night, I'll be tipping back a few, but I'll still be coherent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I remember that. Yep. That's true. So
you guys had a problem with your slide out, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, we did. Yeah. There's a good example. This slide out here.
It only came out about 4 inches because I'm the person that does the inside stuff, and I hit the switch for the slide out to come out, and it came out about 4 inches. So I brought it back in, and I tried to put it out again, and it was like another 4 inches. I'm like, oh, this is bad because, like I said earlier, I can't get to the refrigerator. The other slide wouldn't have went out; it wouldn't have been a big deal, but this one is necessary. So,
I called Paul right away. I said, "Hey, Paul, having a little issue here with the slide out. What do you do to fix it?" Well, right away, Paul said, "Go in the bathroom underneath the sink. There's a panel there that 2 screws into the floor. take those screws out of there. I make it here.
I fixed it.
She fixed it, and there's instructions in there that tells
It was
you
so simple.
how you reset the slide out. So then Vic, she did it within like 5 minutes. Paul called back and as a follow-up and said, did you get it fixed? How did it work out? And with his help, Vic got it working fine. We haven't had a problem with it since. So there are things that are in here that will help you if you run into an issue. Or if you have a salesman like Paul, you're good to go. Never feel lost that you can't figure something out.
There's a lot of people at the campground as well that will help.
Yes,
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, so somebody wanted to know, are you guys all camping right now? Because people are telling me they hear frogs.
No, we're actually at our home.
We're actually at our home in
Perry County.
we live in the country. So where I have the pole build or the camper set by our pole building, I'm able to let the awning out and we put our outside lights up, and we have a picnic table right off to our left here that if we want to.
We're sort of boondocking.
Yeah, we can boondock right where we're at,
That's awesome. Well, again, does anybody have any other questions for this lovely couple here? This is Bill and Vic. And by the way, somebody did say you guys do need to start your YouTube channel. They will follow you. So okay. Well, I'll set you up. Okay. Well, listen, I do appreciate you guys coming on here, sharing your viewpoint, and look forward to seeing you all again. I hope you all figure out where you're going to go for Labor Day weekend. I hope you guys figure that out.
Yeah, not yet. We're still working on that, but just one last thing for your viewers. Good luck to you. Okay, just take your time and look at it, but do yourself the biggest favor. Make that trip down to Beckley's and ask for Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy. He's the real deal. Okay, and I think you'll find that out right off the bat. So take your time looking at all the the RVs at different dealers and everything. But I think at the end of the day, you're going to circle back to Paul Chamberlain.
Yeah, start there first and end there last.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. Listen, thanks again. Appreciate you sharing your wealth of knowledge. I apologize that Maureen wasn't able to show up here this evening. She was hiding over here again. Hold on, there she is. There she is.
Hey guys.
Yeah, there she is. See that?
I was just getting ready to say, tell the family hello for us.
See, I've got her. You notice I got her modeling lights on her. See that?
Thanks, Bill and Vickie.
She's getting ready to start a modeling career. So anyway.
All right.
Okay, guys. Maureen said that if you guys start a channel, she'll start coming on my lives.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I love it. Okay. Listen, everybody. Listen. Thanks again, everybody. Give us a thumbs up if you're liking what they were putting down here this evening. And we're only down to 1,200 people watching at this point. But listen, thanks again. And I'll be back at you again next week. Thanks, Bill and Vic. You guys have a great week, okay?
Thank you.
All right,
you
too, Paul. Take care.
Take care.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye.
Okay, folks, so there you have it. Appreciate everybody showing up here this evening. And next week, I've got a lot of things planned for next week, so stay tuned. I'll be putting that out here a little bit later this week. So you all have a great week, and we'll be back at you again very soon.